As you know, we're always on the hunt for the finest Fox bodies in the Northeast. We've been very fortunate over the past few years to really get our hands on some nice specimens, if you will, of OEM stock original Fox bodies. As most of you are aware, if you've got your finger on the pulse of the Fox body world, there aren't many left in basically unmolested OEM stock original condition. We get a lot of questions from folks. They're out looking, want a Fox body, had a Fox body, what should I be looking for? What do I need to pay attention to? What does an OEM stock all original Mustang look like underneath? Should I be looking for this? Should I be looking for that? What should I avoid? So we're going to take this rare opportunity to give you a little bit of a primer on just that. Just right behind me here, I've got a 1990 Mustang GT convertible, which is a 100% OEM stock original car. It's a 2-owner car out of Vermont, which is kind of a rarity. I've only encountered 3 other ones in the past 8 years that were original Vermont cars. They didn't come to pass too often up here because of the weather. You can only drive them a few months a year, really. This car was purchased by an elderly gentleman originally as a retirement present to himself. When he passed away, his best friend acquired the car. When the best friend passed away, the wife acquired the car, and I just acquired it from her, really a little old lady in Montpelier, Vermont. So it does still happen. You just have to be in the right place at the right time. And luckily we were on this car because it is probably one of the nicest, if not, it's definitely in the top 3 nicest Fox bodies that I've ever run across. I'm going to take an opportunity now to show you around the car, and we can go step by step, from top to bottom, walk through it, and I'll show you exactly what an OEM stock all original Mustang looks like. If you go ahead and take a look at this car, you'll see it is red. It's paint code EH, which is Cabernet red. The paint is flawless. There isn't a scratch or ding on the entire car. It's probably one of the nicest factory paint jobs I've ever seen on a Fox body. The top, the surfaces of the car, if you could see the hood here, it's there is one small blemish up on the top of the hood about the size of a pencil eraser. But other than that, it's even on the front fascia and the lower ground effects, it's there's no scratches, there's no foot marks from people getting in and out of the car. This car has its original, if you can believe it, convertible top, which still functions flawlessly. If you look at the moldings, especially the door belts here, the window, the cowl is in it's perfect shape. Walk you around to the front. Now, there are various indicators here and there of, how you can tell this car is all original OEM stock. For starters, one of the first things that often happens on these is the headlights fade out. And being that the car was in climate controlled storage for, basically the last 10 years, and it was always kept in a garage and covered previous to that. If you look here, you're going to see that these are in fact the original headlights in the car. All of them, even the marking lights, the turn signals, they're all stamped forward, unfaded. If you look in here, you're going to see there's the original hood insulation pad. It's got a little lint on it from me wiping it off, but it's still completely intact. These are almost impossible to find now. The aftermarket company that was producing them pre-COVID is no longer producing them, so it's almost next to impossible to find them in the aftermarket right now. We take a closer look here at the engine compartment now. If you know a Fox body, you're looking at this, you're probably going wow right now, because this thing it has the original distributor boot obviously in place. It has the smog pump still in place, has your original air box still in place. These were, back in the day, one of the first things to hit the scrap heap. People, would rip these out and put a cold air on, or at least take the box out and hollow it out, take the screen out of the mass air. It's still in. I can verify that. So I did put a new air filter in this car. It also has a new Motorcraft oil filter. And outside of the oil in the new fresh oil in the block, everything else you can see here, even the spark plug wires, you can see the original date coded 1990. You want to be looking for this type of thing when you're out, you're shopping around. I want an all original Fox-Body. Well, start looking at the date stampings on the wires. Start looking at the date stampings on the hoses. This car's got all original hoses on it. Start looking for things like, wow, is the whole smog system still intact with all the vacuum lines and everything? As you can see, they are here. This car, all the decals are still in place. Your coil cover is still in place. That often went the way of the dodo bird too. The coil cover, it's got the proper decals where they should be. It still has the original headers on it. Okay, no one put an aftermarket exhaust on the car, even from the cat back, which I'll show you later when we put it up on the lift. But all in all, this is probably one of the finest examples of a completely OEM stock original engine compartment that I've ever seen. If we take a walk around here, I'll actually bring you inside the car. You'll take a look. Some of the things to look at to let you know that this car has in fact 31,000 original miles on it. Take a look at your map pockets. Usually high mileage cars or cars that have sat outside a lot, these are all sagged out. The only thing that's pushing this out is, what do you know, a map of New England, Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont. But otherwise they still have spring in them. If you look at the seat and the seat bolsters, nothing's worn out here. I mean, it looks like no one's really sat in it. If you look at your ashtray door, make sure that the spring still functions like it does here. This still has a lot of great spring in it. It's like brand new. If you look in the back seat, it looks like no one's even ever sat back here. It's incredible. Your sun visors on this car are absolutely perfect. The Velcro still works on the mirror pad. See your map pockets here. Tell signs of a higher mileage Fox-Body. The doors started to get a little sag in them because these are unibody cars. If they didn't have subframe connectors put in at an early age, sometimes you'd have some sag in the doors and they wouldn't close easily upon opening and gently closing. But as you can see, this is like factory. Let's go around and try the driver's door. Nice. One of the other things you should look for is, whether it's a hatch or a trunk like this one, take a look underneath the carpet in the back. This car here has the original case and boot for the convertible top. Never been used. The top's never been down. Pull up your carpet in the back and make sure the spare tire lid, and you can see the original jack directions decal is still in place. And you lift the lid and you should find it underneath, yep, a spare tire. This has the jack and jack handle still in place. There's a key for the locking lug nuts attached. As you can see, looks like it's never even been removed. Looks like no one's ever even taken the jack out. The little rubber end cap is still on the end of the jack handle, so no one's ever even touched this. That's what you should find in a completely OEM stock original Fox body that's never been abused and is still like it was when it left the factory. So like I said earlier, this is a 2-owner car out of Montpelier, Vermont. Very low mileage, just hit 31,000 miles on the clock. Extensive maintenance records to back that up. The condition of the car speaks for itself. Without a shadow of a doubt, you're looking at a very low mileage, very unmolested, very OEM stock, all original Fox body. What we can do is take this thing inside, put it in on the lift in the shop, have you take a look underneath the car, where you're going to find that it's just as OEM stock underneath as it is on top. It's got all the original suspension in it, all the suspension components, shocks, sway bar end links, all the rubber bushings, everything's in fabulous condition. It has the complete original exhaust on it, from the headers to the cats, and then from the cats back with the original mufflers. Zero rust or rot. The car was actually Zybar undercoated right from the dealer, so it's very well preserved. It's a very incredible example of a time capsule Fox body.